So South Africa is losing up to 200 billion every year because of mental health issues in the workplace. So let's let that let's let that sink in for a second. That's 200 billion. And what makes that heartbreaking is that it's not the unemployed who are bearing the burden. It's the people with jobs. It's the ones who get through the door. It's the ones who are supposed to be, making it. It's the ones who are in the workplace and they are breaking down silently, slowly. And here's the question no one wants to ask: why is a system designed to fix this still failing? Let me give you the numbers because they tell a story we can't ignore. So in South Africa, companies lose between 161 and 200 billion every year due to mental health issues. That's 19 billion rands of that from just depression related absenteeism. And we have the most stressed workplace in the world. Not third, not fifth, but second. And it's not just affecting employees, it's spilling over to their families, to their children, to their work, to the relationships. And the stress doesn't just clock out in 5 p.m. because honestly, when I look at this, it just feels wild because so many of us South Africans are struggling just to find work. The unemployment rate is crushing, and yet even for the ones who are employed, even for the ones who make it, the employment doesn't just stop. Instead of safety and stability, many of us are being crushed by the pressure and silence in the workplace. So it's like work should give people dignity, it should lift them up, but instead, for many, it's destroying them from the inside out. And that's where we have to talk about the system that was meant to help but isn't. So companies in South Africa rely on something called an EAP. That's an employee assistance program. On paper, it sounds great. Employees, they get access to counseling, to support lines, maybe even a few therapy sessions. But see, here's the problem. Most EAPs operate on a fee for a fee service model. For a fee for a service model. So this means that companies pay for sessions, not outcomes. So it's like paying for 3 taxi rides without caring whether anyone actually reaches their destination. And you're just counting trips. So in the data, well, it's brutal. So only 1 in 6 employees disclose their struggles in their managers. That means 5 out of 6 are suffering in silence. And even when help is available, only 15 to 25% of employees actually use the EAP services. So where's the rest? Probably they're at their desks, physically present but mentally absent. There's a term for this. It's called presenteeism. Picture this. Someone staring at the screen. The email is open, Slack notifications pinging, but nothing is happening because they are mentally checked out. Not because they don't care, but they just can't. They're brutally holding it together. They are barely holding it together. And that's we can't call that support. because it's not support. That's not wellness. That's quite that's quite suffering, and we've normalized it. So you have to come to the terms that no one is actually winning here. Not the employees who's drowning, not the manager who doesn't know what to do, and definitely not the businesses who's hemorrhaging productivity and talent. Because the system was built with good intentions, but good intentions don't change outcomes. And right now, outcomes are failing us. So what's really the answer? Let's start with the simple shift. Stop paying for mileage. Stop paying to cross the finish line. What I mean is, there's a thing called a value. That's what value-based care is all about. Instead of counting how many sessions someone attended, we measure real outcomes. Are the employees more resilient? Is the absenteeism dropping? Are the teams getting better? Is the culture changing? That's what really matters. That's what works. And that's what we need to do. And that's exactly what we do at BothoWellness. So in BothoWellness, we're about creating a workplace and culture that's about a workplace and culture where it is easy to say, I'm not okay, and knowing there's a real system in place to help you heal. At BothoWellness, we don't treat mental health as an afterthought. We don't just hand out pamphlets and call it wellness. We rebuild trust. We talked to leaders and lead with empathy. We make mental health a part of a company's functions, and it's not something that you build. That's something you build when there's a crisis. We measure impact. We track progress, and we don't just stop when people are just genuinely better. Because coping, we need people to thrive and not just cope. And that's what value-based care looks like. That's what real support looks like. So look at the 200 billion problem is already here. Okay, it's not changing, it's not coming, it's here. It's not a future risk. It's happening right now in the boardrooms and in the open platform across South Africa. And doing nothing, that costs more than doing something every single time. So if you're someone who is like an HR executive, a wellness manager, a CEO, or you just care about mental health, mindfulness, and building a workplace that just don't break people, here's what I want you to do. I want you to follow our BothoWellness pages on TikTok and Facebook. Join our book groups so we can connect together. Because we need to change the conversation, change the system, ensure that the people who are working, the ones who are trying, are actually seen. So thanks guys for watching. Peace guys.